Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome to my website. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. The website is www.black-stick.com. It's where you'll find all my videos organized in a logical order. There are times when we might misname a button control. No big deal if you haven't written any code just yet. Just rename it. But if you have written a bunch of code, changing the name is not quite so easy. In my case, I wrote a program and it worked just fine. But I needed to write a second program that was similar to the first. Well, I made a copy of the program and decided to modify it rather than starting all over again. Most of the code was there. Turns out all I needed to do was change a function name in the code of 3 button controls. But I wanted those button names to match the function I was coding. That meant renaming the buttons so I would have 3 new button events with names that matched the buttons. This video shows you what I did. After I built the index of substring method demo program, I had to do the last index of demonstration program, and it realized that I had a tool here that many of us would like to be able to use to save us some time and trouble when we're actually working. And that is changing a button without redoing the code. What you're looking at right here is the index of substring demo method. And what I want to do is I want to change this thing to a last index of demo method, and that means I want to go into the code and jump into these buttons here and change these buttons to button last index of start click, button last index of start count, and there's another one here too. Oh, the and the straight old button index of. I want it to be button last index of. Well, how do you do that? How do you do that without messing things up and screwing things up? You can't just arbitrarily change these names when you want to. Well, there is a technique you can actually use. So I'm going to go back to the design here, and I just want to change the names on these things, or at least the titles that I've got here, and put the word last index of in front of it. And so I'm going to do that by jumping into here and typing in LAST on that guy, and then LAST on this one. And from a cosmetic standpoint, oops, I screwed that one up a little bit. Let's just go ahead and rebuild that. Get rid of the I here and go in here and put the I here. And this one also last index of, and place that right in here last. Yeah, LAST. And now, for cosmetic purposes, you now can see these buttons are going to do the string var last index of substring, and they're going to do that. But the code isn't going to do that. So I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to go to let's go to the properties window, and let's go into these buttons. And right now, they're named button index of. Well, I want them to say button last index of, so that my Hungarian notation code here says last. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change this to LAST. Is that going to screw me up? Well, let's change all 3 of these to that. Put in this button last index of, and I'll show you what's going to happen. And we'll take that last index of here, and we've not got them set up so that they are last index of is the name on there. So that's great. Super. Okay, cool. Now, if I go in and click on one of these things, what happens? It takes me to the button index of. So even though I called it last index of, it still says in the code button index of. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want it to be able to create brand new button code in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lightning streak here, and I'm going to go into this thing. And what it does when I do that, it brings up the first one right here, the last index of click event. I'm going to get rid of this click event. I'm just going to blow it away by erasing it. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It gives me my click event here, and I'm going to say get rid of this. And I'm going to get down to this one, and I'm going to say get rid of this guy as well. And that's gone too. Okay, so now that's gone. Are they really? If I look at my code, no, they're still there, but there's no link to it anymore. So when I go into my buttons here and I click on this, I'm double clicking, getting a new event, button last index of event. I can now go up and grab my code from up here, index of, and place it right in there. Control C, drop it in place, bang, it's there. I can now go into my second button, click on it. It gives me an empty shell as well. That's the start one. So I'll grab the code from it, and copy it, bring it down here, and place it in place. And I'll go to my third button. A new event, it pops up. And my new event is going to be the start count one. So I'll grab the code from it and bring it down. Now I can go up here and literally take these three button index of start count, all of these, and blow them away just by deleting them. And do a file save. Let's go ahead and clear that, and let's do a file save. Save all. And let's do a run. Let me back off. I did not change this to last index of. The code inside here has to be that. Last index of. L-A-S-T. That'll get you too. You changed everything else, but you didn't change the actual button here. Last index of. And last index of. Now it matches. Last index of is going to be my last index of button. Now we can do this file save again. By the way, if you want to get back to your properties, once you're on a button like this, you want to get out of that dollar sign, go back to tools, and then you're looking at the right names on these things. You can see button last index of sitting there nicely. So let's go ahead and run this now. Did do a save. Do a start. And let's do the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog's back. And we'll try jumps. We'll start in position 10. We'll go off for 5 to see if it's out there anywhere of those 5. And we'll try the first one, and it does find jumps. It goes backwards and finds it here. Now, will it work for the last index over the substring starting of 10? No, it doesn't. It comes backwards here, and starts at 10 and goes this way. So it's only looking at a certain number and it doesn't find it. Same thing at last thing at 5 and looking for 5. No, it doesn't find that at all. But if we go back to, let's go back to about 30, and then clear this guy. This one works. This one works, and this one does not work. So the last index of start, when we start at 30, it does find jumps. But we'll go back 30 and only go back forward 5, we can't find it. So this works. So it's very easy to change the name of your code, of your button, once you have code in it, especially if you're making a copy of the program, making subtle changes to it. So I have a completely different program. It works with the last index of instead of the index of, and it's got the proper naming conventions in there without me doing a lot of work of rewriting the code from scratch. Pretty simple.
Yes, if you have existing code that you want to retain but it needs to be moved, it's actually quite easy to eliminate the event entirely, create new events, and replace your code. And it's a guarantee that you run into this situation more than once. I hope this helps. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to use the website for easy access to all my videos. And if you get a chance, please subscribe. That way, you'll be notified when something new is available. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.